Hello, this is Arthur, screenwriter and short filmmaker, Dewey B. Reynolds. I will be pitching a project that is entitled Network of Killers. It's the story about four mafia bosses from Chicago, Kansas City, and New Orleans who maintain their uncontrolled greed and lust for power through crooked politicians and bloodthirsty contract killers. Now, this story was adapted from a novel I wrote, which is entitled the same title, Network of Killers. Now, Kirkus Reviews says hardcore Mafia fans will appreciate the frequent gunplay. The screenplay was adapted from this novel, which says sex, murder, greed, betrayal, corruption. These are the fundamentals of their network. This is the actual novel that was written. This shows the cover of the book, Network of Killers, in which I wrote my screenplay. Now, I'd like to present some visuals to you that I think would be very interesting to kind of walk you through the story a little bit. This is from the Metropolitan edition of the Kansas City Star from March 13th, 1992, in which it says, FBI agent is slain in KC. Part of my research came from this story when an FBI agent was sent down from Washington to investigate the Mafia's alliance with the Teamsters Union. While this FBI agent was on assignment, he was murdered. Speculation ran rampant that some mob figures from Chicago and Kansas City acted in cahoots to kill him to keep him from furthering his investigation. Here's another clipping from the Kansas City Star which says, FBI agent is slain outside KC Hotel, which shows the perpetrators. These are composite sketches of what the perpetrators look like. Here's another clipping from another day. FBI, we're not letting up. They are very diligent about finding out who killed this FBI agent and why. Here's another clipping. Agent described as dedicated and kind. Now, me being a resident of Kansas City, a lifelong native of Kansas City, I pretty much knew who some of these mob figures were and some of the activities that they were involved in. Now, let me show you some more clippings of Kansas City and mob activities. This right here says, blown away. When the River Key crumbled, so did KC's Mafia. There was a mafia war that existed in the River Key during the 1970s. I worked in that area, unloading fruit and vegetable trucks for a lot of Italian and Sicilian men. And the River Key was dominated by mob figures, which is mentioned in the story also. So I've taken chapters out of Kansas City history and have incorporated them into a story that I think is very exciting. Also in the River Key, this shows a car bombing that happened when rival mobsters were blowing each other's businesses up as well as blowing each other's cars up. I worked there in that area unloading fruit and vegetable trucks in Kansas City. Now, show you some other things. This right here is the FBI office in Kansas City. This is the FBI field office. That's a photo that was taken. This right here is a photo of the Teamsters building in Kansas City, which still exists to this day. Now, in the story, Network of Killers, the mafia bosses will eliminate anyone who gets in their way and try to stop them from owning and operating this multi-billion-dollar Teamsters Union. You have Thomas Galluccio of the Kansas City crime family. You have Carmine and Michael Bernazzoli, the Bernazzoli brothers of Chicago. You have Stefano Fontanello of the New Orleans Mafia family. The ultimate goal of these crime bosses are coming together and meeting in Kansas City to consolidate power within the Teamsters Union, to fill up their coffers, to bring in more money, to consolidate power, and to overall just be able to have an ironclad grip over the Teamsters Union. There are so many different elements in this story that are brought together. Let me present some more visuals to you. This right here also is the River Key, where bombings took place. It had a lot to do with the Teamsters Union, and the Mafia was at war to see who would control all the unions within the city and beyond. Now, also, here's another news clipping that says, U.S. ties Sabella to Teamsters boss. The undisputed Kansas City Mafia boss was Nick Sabella. Nick Sabella was the ruling undisputed boss. Anyone who challenged him would be quickly eliminated. Here's another clipping. Organized crime indictment in Kansas City casts wide net. This clipping here shows bosses from Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland, Kansas City, and Las Vegas. And it shows you how a lot of the Mafia families beyond had strong ties with the Kansas City Mafia. The story Network of Killers brings all this up under the same umbrella. And it shows you how when Mafia bosses consolidate power, that no one is safe from their wrath. So in the story of Network of Killers, if anyone poses a threat to these crime bosses, they are eliminated at all costs. Network of Killers is a very powerful story, and I think you enjoy reading it. Thank you for your time.